Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Vallen, and this is SevTech Ages. Today, we're going to the beneath. So, I've got a lot planned for today's episode. We're going to be trying to get some achievements like I was doing before. And I've got a mostly full inventory, full of all sorts of weird stuff. And it kind of looks disheveled, but yet it seems like it also has a purpose. Allow me to demonstrate what some of these things are. For instance, we've got bronze and a bone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bone here, and I'm going to just kind of right-click that. There we go. And it broke. And that's not really what I wanted, but oops. It looks as though I'm going to need to get a few more pieces of bone and try a little bit better. There we go, that's what I wanted. Basically what that was about, if I can grab that there, is I need a sharp bone plus 2 bronze ingots. Let's put the rest of those bones away. And yes, I made a whole lot of those, what do you call it, the snares to get demonic will. I went farming over in the Shadowlands with it. I figured I might as well use them all up. Though I'm not really prepared for that yet. But here, let's put this together so that I don't need to have this in my inventory anymore. And I now have a sacrificial dagger. So it should work in combination with this blood altar, which for now is going to be right here. Actually, I don't need to be right there. I just need to be close by. And you can see it's starting to fill up with a little bit of blood. And if I do this enough, I will kill myself. So I need to make sure I don't actually do that. But it will mean that I get to eat some food. And I've been keeping up with my nutrition. So I've got plenty of stuff to go. And it should allow me a lot of storage in there. I'm not really sure how much I get to keep in there at a time. Because I've got the ability to look at this. I guess I need to make the proper item in order to actually harvest that. But it is a start so that I can actually get a bunch of blood in that. And actually make the apple here, the apple of lofty stature that is needed, which needs 1,500 life points. So we'll work on that over time. In the meantime, I have plenty of food. In fact, I've been keeping. Look at it. I got like a stack, more than a stack of like tasty sandwiches and what are these things? I can't remember what they're called. The pork dinners. Got plenty of them. Plus, I made another bag. So that I would have, space for loot and other things. I used up pretty much all my leather, mostly. I mean, I think in my leather area I've got, a little bit left. But I've got some that's like partially there already, and I have plenty more that I can process. Just need to keep eating up this stuff. I also have been using a lot of arrows. So I made a whole lot of arrows, as you see here. I've got a few stacks of it now. And I harvested up from earlier, the energy pedestal, and it's got 384 in it. And if I put it down, and if I have my book out, my Necronomicon to be specific, if I look at it, it actually has over 2,000 potential energy in it right now. I put this in there, and 2376 I think is what the number had on it. If I grab it now, it says 2459. And when I harvest this energy pedestal, it's actually going to have less on the pedestal. So this is kind of like a storage tank for potential energy as well. So yeah, you can just leave this in place. Also, there was a little correction that one of the viewers caught, and I totally had overlooked. In fact, I've got this here. Let's put that away. I'm going to mine this up, which should... Wait, there we go. It's now in my inventory. I should be able to go upstairs and check this out. I will meet you over at my Abyssal Altar Set Up. So if you remember, this is where I had all of my altars set up. And I actually had them set up improperly because the instruction was that the energy pedestal needs to be 3 blocks away from any of the statues. And if I put it here, the ones that were on the diagonals were actually only like 2 away. So you have to have it out like 3 blocks away in a square. And then if you have them really close to each other, like every other or something like that, you can have them like one out and back and forth and stuff like that. Otherwise, they'll actually get in each other's way. I kind of messed around with that a little bit in a creative world. But let's put this down here, and you can see that now it's not just the one, it's going to be all of them are going to start donating that are nearby to the pedestal itself. But keeping this here is actually kind of dangerous, because then there's potential energy to actually spawn in all sorts of nasty things and have things go wrong. I have all the potential energy I need at the moment, so I'm just going to keep it in my bag, and we're going to move on from there. So you may have noticed that also this room here is not making much noise anymore. That's because it is now the Pit of Despair. So you just go in and fall down, but yes, that's right, I'm under the totem effect, so therefore I didn't take any damage. And I now have like this little area here for the hunting dimension. I figure I could probably put like another dimensional portal over here, or even one over here or something. This would be like a dangerous portal room maybe. I kind of like the idea of it, and therefore I also like having the it just down in a pit. So it I don't know, Pit of Despair. It leads to dangerous places. I think it's going to help us out with that. Now, other items in my inventory. I've got a bunch of bricks. Reason being, I made another brick over here. I also have down here low-grade charcoal that I lit up earlier, and the reason I have these here is because it's not required. Now, you see the particles are still going there, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to make this like so. There we go. Basically a kiln. And if I take a block, like a bit of rice dough, I think might even work in there. It might actually need to be up out of the ground and hovering above, but I figured I would at least have all the materials set and ready for it. I can always harvest out some of these things around it and then try testing it out. But for now, I've made myself a kiln, because if you look here, there are multiple kilns, of course, but there's also ways of cooking things like this. If I'm looking at an unfired crucible and I want to cook it, I can cook it in a Better with Mods kiln, which is actually like a little bit of a multi-block structure. And I think I actually need to have it empty all around it. So I might have to move that out a bit and make an unfired crucible and cook it up that way. And what better way to test things than with an actual item that needs to be cooked in one? For instance, I've got some clay here. If I take this, put it in an unfired clay bowl. And this should actually be one of the items that I need to, well, cook in this kiln. But I think I still need to take out a little bit more. I do have some blocks under here and under here. There we go. Maybe that's enough at this point that I can actually use this. Okay, so I realize now what I have done wrong, and that is this. I have the low-grade charcoal under the wrong block. That would work for being underneath this brick, so I'm being a doof. Allow me to actually kind of harvest this up. Let's put this out first and get that. Then I could potentially put this in the right place. So I need to have it like multiple blocks down. There we go. And then I just need to get a little bit of sticks. That's right, I'm going back to the old days of making fire again, my friends. Just got to use some of these whittled fire sticks. I didn't actually trade for like a fire starting bow or anything from one of the villagers, because, you know, sticks are just darn easy to use. There we go. So now, can I put an unfired clay bowl in here? No. Oh, that's all right, because the unfired clay bowl that I need actually gets cooked in a clay kiln, not the brick one anyway. So let's put that in there. And I can actually look up a crucible is made how? Oh, that's made on a turntable. Well, still, there are other ways of getting this thing to make stuff. Like I could take flour and cook it into bread. I've got rice flour. I don't think that that's actually going to work, but I should have some regular flour in here so I can test this out. There we go. One piece of flour. And then if I put this in here, and I realize now that that's not going to work whatsoever, because it's going to require a hibachi, not the low-grade charcoal that I got here. Okay, so sometimes I have a derping moment and I just need to run with it before I can actually come to the logical solution. So I'm sorry for those of you that are like yelling at the screen right now. But I've actually never built one of these before or used one. So I thought that I would try and get a jump start on it. But yeah, hibachi I think is actually going to be a little bit out of my... Yeah, I don't have that option to build it yet. So that's going to be something probably soon that I'll be able to build. But I do have other things in my inventory that I wanted to show you guys. Obviously, the apple being one of them. Might as well just donate some blood real quick. And then I'm going to show you some of the next item that I'm going to be working on. Actually, you know, I think that looks like it's quite enough blood in there. So I'm just going to pop this apple in and hope that that's going to do it. Even though I don't know how much is actually in there at the moment. And I'm going to probably eat a little bit of food and wait for this to actually process. There we go. Actually, that didn't take very long at all. Let me grab this. There we go. I don't want it anymore. So for those of you that were like maybe raging at the beginning of the pack, that there's step assist, where it automatically will step you up 1 block heights. This is your solution. You can eat one of these right now and eliminate that option. Or you can feasibly not, and you still get the achievement and you still get step assist. And personally, I'm keeping step assist. I love step assist. It's one of my favorite things. So I have other things here. Rotten flesh. What good is it? Well, it's going to be used in a cauldron, which, if you remember, I actually put that over here. Smelt it up at this point. There we go. And I could feasibly use the this down here for that. But I feel that at this point I'm just going to mess things up very poorly. So I'm just going to kind of stick it here and maybe smelt it up in this spot. Still have some more low-grade charcoal, so no worries there. And of course, as you saw before, same old, starting a fire with my hands. And we're just going to put this down in place. Hui. Then we're going to start this up. There we go. Then I grab this cauldron, put it here. And if I open it up, I put in 3 rotten flesh. You can see it's starting to cook. You can put in a whole bunch of stuff in here, and it will actually cook things, well, for free, since we now have a fire source under it. And over time, that will actually make something. Now, I will show you what that is shortly. But until then, I'm going to show you something else. Remember this over here? I've got something else going on. We've got 3 rice flour plus salt equals rice dough. So I just need to stir it 3 times. 1, 2, yes. And sometimes the animation doesn't work, but it still does it anyway. There we go. And then I just click that to refill. And I get myself rice dough. What good is rice dough? Well, besides baking it later on to make, you can make some rice bread if you want, which is not bad for grain, honestly. It's pretty good. But I want rice slime balls because I'm going to the Beneath, and the Beneath is a very dangerous place to go to because you typically spawn in very high up, and you need to have safety from falls. At least if you want to be safe about this. Let me put that away there. So the idea here is I need a bunch of rice dough, plus I need my, where is it here? My bladder, so that I can use this and craft things up. Now I might actually move a crafting table over here, but I'm going to do this so that you can see. There we go. That gets 1 rice slime ball. And I'm going to need to start by getting... Actually, did that only use 3 of those? I think it did. That's actually pretty good. I need a whole block's worth, so I need 9. So I will be back once I have enough for that. There we go, and I'll just put a crafting table down there, so it's still kind of out of the way and not quite so visible. And now I can use this plus the rice dough, and we can make ourselves rice slime balls. Cool. Alright, so I think I've got enough here that this should be enough for 1 block. There we go. So now I have 9 rice slime balls. Yes? I can turn it into a slime block. Then I can turn that slime block into slime balls. Feasibly, I could have used the rice slime as well, but this is going to be a little bit easier method for me to actually start making basically slime boots. So I'm just going to make up another block, or another slime ball. Actually, that shouldn't be too bad. Just 2 more recipes of this should do. And then I can use regular slime to make the slime boots that I'm looking for. Alright, so that should be enough. I just need my fluid bladder, plus a little bit more rice dough. There we go. Just one more crafting set because I think that they both have to be the same, like both rice slime balls instead of a slime ball. I think that's how it's going to work. I don't know. Either way, it's not going to hurt me to have that extra one. So I take these plus this, that. Oh, actually, it works with just regular slime ball. So I will keep the extra regular slime. There we are. I now have Sly Boots. Which, yeah, it may reduce my overall armor rating by an entire armor piece, but I now will no longer take fall damage. And I'm not reliant on totem poles anymore. So I'm just going to pop this in my gears chest, or gear chest for now, which that's actually I'm pretty darn happy about that. So, oh, that's really good. And no, that's not on the achievements, but that's because we're going to the Beneath, which is going to be a very high distance up. Now if I look up the Beneath here, recipe for that, I need dark oak fence, plus of course just about everything else in here, and a blank teleporter, as dark as my soul. Oh dear. Oh, okay, so this is a lot more detailed than I had ever expected. It's going to require a whole bunch of stuff, which actually we have bronze, we've got tin, we've got copper, we've got black dye powder, yeah, we've got that. We've got blocks of coal. We're going to need an Apprentice Blood Orb. Oh goodness, that's not a bad thing at all. Which, in order to make one, you either need redstone, which is unfamiliar to me, or a Karelian Pearl, which, if you remember, is made from Karelian infused stone, which we've got that too. So that's not that bad at all. I'm going to grab 6 of those, put that away. Then I just need some, a bunch of this stuff. I'm going to craft this up right now. I remember now we need 2, 3. There we go. This should be really easy to get. A lot easier than I anticipated, that's for sure. There we go. And then I just need to smelt this up. Which actually it should work on... Let's see, smelt... Oh, it works on the stone grill. Good. That's what I was hoping for. There we go. It is now cooking. That should turn into a Karelian Pearl. And then I just need 5,000 life points. Oh, and a tier 2. Oh, that said tier 2. Oh no. Which means I'm going to need some slates. I'm going to need slates. Blank slates. I'm going to need... Oh boy. Oh boy. So why do we need slates? Slates are a key ingredient in blood magic in making blank runes. And blank runes are needed in order to upgrade your altar. So... we're going to need to be able to upgrade this, and I'm going to have to dig out this room a little bit sooner than I had anticipated. So I'm going to, I don't know, maybe not do a time-lapse or anything, but I am going to take a moment and dig out the room that I was planning on using for the blood altar. Alright, so I have a few more ingredients. I don't know that I would be able to fully automate this at this point, but with a wooden hopper, I should be able to perhaps help it along a little bit. Let's take one of these primal chests here. And no, I opted not to clear out the room yet because I want it to be certain dimensions, and I can't remember what they are at the moment without looking them up. So I'm going to, I don't know, just kind of do this one at a time. Let's see. Oh, it is just taking them instantly and feeding them out. Actually... yeah, it's going to hold them in its internal reservoir, so that's kind of sad that it's going to do that. I might have to set up another something, or just grab those as they come through. Over time, those blocks will turn into slates, which we're going to need those slates to make the runes. So let's see. Basically here, we've got blank runes. This is all I really absolutely need. I'm going to need some kind of blood orb. Apprentice Blood Orb is going to be... But first, we need a weak blood orb, which is going to be, weak blood orb is tier 1. That's coagulated blood. In order to get coagulated blood, I need a casting basin? Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so, twice in the same episode, I have had what I refer to as a brain fart, basically, where I just get this mental block. Now, if I want to make the slates, it's not as difficult as I'm thinking. Yes, I need to put it in there, and that I can make slates that way, but it's the use of them with making the weak blood orb and making coagulated blood. Now, coagulated blood, originally I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't have a casting table. See, it's unfamiliar to me. I have a casting basin. I can't make coagulated blood, but I can. That's the thing, is that if you can't make it in the single piece, make it in the block piece. So therefore, I can do that, which there is a recipe for this that is actually going to be, I don't think it's actually in here. At least not easy to see. There's there's congealed rotten flesh too. Rotten flesh. And this is where it gets a bit overlooked, is because if you look, rotten flesh in some kind of, look at this, porcelain melter, or even the regular smeltery, which is unfamiliar to me, will turn into 40 millibuckets of blood. And we need 160 to make one piece. So that's going to mean that I need at least 4 pieces of rotten flesh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I come over here, and I put this in here, drop those in, put the excess up above, that should make 1 coagulated blood piece. Actually, and that's the problem, I forgot, I'm pouring an entire block, so I'm going to need 4 times that. Whoopsie. So let's grab 12 more pieces. I'm going to run over here. I could put it up in, I could spread it across these and have them all channel. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's grab that right now. We'll put this over here, put a bunch in there, put a bunch in there, and then I'm going to seal this. Actually, have that one go down and seal that, and so that they all come into the center. So that should actually work. Now I've got a little bit in here already, so if I start pouring, there we go, it goes into the middle. Then I just need to wait for the other ones to smelt up. How much is left in this one? 4, 3, none. I'll take a couple of those, put them over here, and those can smelt up as well. There we go. So now I've got a little bit in each one, and if I pour this, goes in, pour that, and I have to wait for each of them in turn, and that goes in as well. That should make one whole. There we go. Block O congealed blood. Ew. And then I could take that, put it in my inventory, and make coagulated blood, which also can be used to make slime boots as well. It's probably a little bit simpler in some ways, and also making good use of rotten flesh. But there are other things that I need the rotten flesh for. So, I have the coagulated blood though. I'm going to take that, put the remaining in, yeah, I'll put it in my drops chest for now. Get rid of this excess stone. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to actually take out this slate. Let's see if I can do this here. Come here, and then I'm going to put in coagulated blood. And just to make sure it's still good, I'm going to basically sacrifice almost 2 entire health bars of life. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I've got these like really good sandwiches. I might actually grab like some of this, some beef jerky, just so that I'm not using my travel sandwiches as much, so that I can keep my my health up, because these things have some really good saturation. I mean, you compare it to the pork dinner, it's a lot more saturating, and therefore good for just getting regeneration and not using as much materials of your food supplies. There we go, and I'll just sacrifice a bunch more because I'm going to need to, I'm sure. There we go, and we have a weak blood orb. So now you just look away somewhere that you're not aiming at a block, and you just right-click with it, and it becomes yours. See, it says stores raw life essence. Current owner, Vallen Frostweaver. That's me. All right, so don't lose this. Don't give it away to other people, because they can do bad things with it that will hurt you. So don't lose it. Oh, look, I've got 6 slates already. I might just want to do a little bit more depositing at the bank. And, oh, that was close. That was very close. Let me have a little nom and put a bunch of slates in here and see how that goes. Maybe I didn't realize that it was just going to stack them up. That's an improvement. I like that quite a lot. Oh, the slates aren't nearly as bad as they used to be. All right, so let's put that away. I now have blank slates, which I can use to make blank runes. Oh, I just need a bunch of stone at this point. That shouldn't be a problem. Let's use this. Something like this, and that should make me, there's 3 of them right there. I'm going to need more than that, though. I'm going to need a total of 8. So now I just need to wait for some more of the slates to cook up, and yeah, then I should be good to go. So while I'm waiting for this, let's discuss these different runes that we're going to be making. Now there's 3 of them that I'm seeing are available. There's the speed rune, which is going to speed up this process that it's doing right now, which is basically converting things or using your blood to basically make a whole bunch of stuff. Let me just donate a bunch to the bank real quick and then eat some food. But the idea is that will speed it up, which is good. And then we've got the Rune of Self-Sacrifice, which, as you see, I was just like poking my finger so that I could sacrifice blood. It allows you to sacrifice more blood per one of these stabs that I do like that, if you have those surrounding it. Now, when I say surrounding it, I mean like in a circle. Well, a Minecraft squared circle, if you will. This spot in the center is actually going to be empty. But this is pretty good. I'm thinking it might be done by now. I don't really know. I'm just going to grab those. There we go. I've got 12. That's cool. So I actually want to put 1 or 2 back in so that I can remake those into reinforced slates, because these can be used to make, in a blood altar, reinforced slates. It takes 2,000 life points, which I think it holds like 5,000, plus it's got a reservoir in there as well. So it takes some time. In fact, I don't even see any particles, so it might need to be a higher level for it to actually do that. But let me take this out of here, and we can put down a bunch of the runes that we have. We can make up the rest of those and plop them down quick. Put this here. These across the top and bottom, and then take a bunch of blank slates. There we go. Now have 8 runes. And with that, I should be able to surround the structure and officially upgrade this to a level 2 altar. There we go. Cool. Now you can see it is actually making reinforced plates. Which, don't worry, we can always dig these blank runes back up again and use them for crafting as well. But for now, this is now a tier 2 altar, which is exactly what we needed. Cool. I now have 2 reinforced slates, which can be used to make either a Rune of Self-Sacrifice or Rune of Sacrifice. Rune of Sacrifice isn't really going to be useful until we can make a sacrificial dagger, which I'm pretty sure we can't make just yet. But the Rune of Self-Sacrifice is definitely going to help things, help me to complete things as well. So let's, I've actually got some more in here smelting up. Smelting, cooking, coating, whatever you want to call it. It's currently, sorry, I just got to keep on going with the blood, making me some more of these runes. Basically, there is a bit to this. You're going to need to constantly work at the very beginning with making stuff, and it's only going to get worse in time. But if I move this over, grab that, I now have a bunch of blank slates. I can make myself some more blank runes, or I could also just dig up these ones, which is going to help because I want to replace some of these. Let's grab these. They don't have to be in any specific order, just in specific placement. Now the use for this, I could put some sugar on here and make a speed rune, which would increase things. I think I've got some sugar in here. So let's make at least one of the speed runes. There we go. That's 1 speed rune, which is safe for decoration. I also want a Rune of Self-Sacrifice. This one here is going to be requiring yellow dye powder, which, look up here, I've got some already. I think that's a white daffodil, a yellow daffodil. That sounds ideal. So let me just pop this daffodil in here. Start moving that. Eat some meat while I'm at it. There we go. And there we go. We've got yellow dye powder. And I should be able to make that other rune, the self-sacrifice one. Though it's going to request that I have an orb over here. I don't know if it'll actually let me... it lets me use the weak blood orb. That's fine. This one requires the reinforced slate, and then I can take one of these blank runes and upgrade it to one of those. So now I don't need to sacrifice as much blood, and it's going to go a little bit faster when I place some of these things back down. Like this one here, this is the Rune of Self-Sacrifice, and this is the speed rune. So now if I put down the rest of these, it's a tier 2 altar. I can put in, I don't know, let's put in 5 of these for now. And I could toss those in there and grab my dagger. And it's not gonna, because I only did one of each of these, it's not gonna be a huge difference just yet, but you can already notice that it doesn't take me quite as much to get back up to the, up to full. So it's definitely helping out. There we go. Luckily, I had just enough. I got really close there. I've got 4 reinforced slate. Thought that I had more than that going in, but I'm not really that bothered by it. Either way, I'm close to death. At least the closest I've been in quite some time. And here's the good thing about the cooked wolf meat. You can just keep on eating it. And it will just keep on growing your saturation as well as your protein levels. So this is a really good way of getting your healing up very fast. Specifically for something like this in blood magic. But it's a rare commodity because it's at the cost of, you know, those steppe wolves out there. So something that you're going to want to probably hang on to for situations like this. All right, I might dig up some of these runes, upgrade this a little bit more, and then we shall be on to the next subject. And by upgrading, I mean replacing, because you don't actually upgrade your old blood orb, you replace it with the next level, which is going to take that Karelian Pearl and 5,000 life points, which shouldn't be too bad now that I have things a bit squared away. So let's grab that Karelian Pearl. I have it already. And like I said, don't lose that thing. Well, I mean, you just don't give it to other people. It's a bad thing if you give it to them. Because then they could give you nausea and have you die and use your blood points, and you don't want to do that. You don't want other people using your life points. So now you can see I should be able to keep up with the requirement on this. It's probably going to try and drain the entire thing, but I've got myself some tasty sandwiches, and I should be good to go already, especially when I've got these in here. Now that speed rune isn't going to help a lot, but it is going to help a little bit. And yes, this does take some time. I could have made some more speed runes. Starting to think that I probably should have at this point because it is a bit slow. But sometimes having it go slower is better because then you can actually keep up with the blood requirement. So if you don't have, you know, 2 health bars along the bottom here because of nutrition helping you out, and you're constantly running out and it ends up going to the bottom of this, that's bad. You're going a little, it's going too fast for you. So adding speed runes is not necessarily going to help you in that situation. But I now have an Apprentice Blood Orb, and yay, I have just bound it to myself. Have myself another sandwich, because man, this blood magic makes you hungry. But let's take a look here. Next is going to be the Beneath, which if I remember now, it's going to require a whole bunch of stuff here, which isn't going to be too bad. But that blank teleporter, that's the one that I was worried about here, which actually isn't too bad. Blocks of coal. I'm going to need to actually, oh, I can put those in a kiln, but I don't have that. I'm going to have to use the horse press. What is unfamiliar item? That's weird. I'm going to have to take some regular coal and make a couple of blocks of coal, which shouldn't be too bad. I just grab this here. Might as well just grab a bunch. I'm going to go up to see my ponies, my llamas up on top. Hey everybody, and I found out, here's something of interest. I put the walls up so that if I grab one of them, they don't actually untether themselves. But if I grab one, it also gets their attention. So here, let's do this. Whoop. Everybody attention? Okay, attention please. I require 2 blocks of coal minimum, please, and thank you. Get to it. Off with you now. Oh, there's a bunch of junk in there still. There we go. My bad. Here, I'll put you back on there. Off with you. Thank you. And I'll be back to see you soon. That means that there's stuff actually down in the bottom there. Oh, no, that was just an odd number, or rather, no, it was an even number, but there wasn't enough to actually make an entire block. And now I've got a bunch of llama ears poking up over the wall. Gosh, you guys are just freaking cute sometimes. There we go. Ready. And now, can I make this central ingredient? Oh, that's right. It's not gonna, for some reason it doesn't like your blood orb because the NBT data doesn't match up properly. So you're just gonna have to kind of wing it and figure out which one goes where. Old school vanilla style. Okay, a couple of charcoal, or a couple coal and a couple black powder. There we go. Blank teleporter. Got it. Now, that is just an ingredient in the Beneath teleporter. which I've got Monolith Stone, and this order doesn't have to be exactly like this, so you don't need to worry about that. Oh, I do need coal dust though, so I might grab a piece of coal and actually grind that up before I get any further. Alright, so I am going to need Monolith Stone, and I think it was 4 pieces for the Beneath teleporter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Gunpowder, which shouldn't be too bad, because I have been fighting some creepers. Jeez, I guess I've been fighting a lot of creepers. I've got the coal dust now, and Demonic Will. I have this one here, 0.01. That is like the weakest Demonic Will you can possibly get. I guess 0.00 is a possibility as well. But I'm going to use that one. And a dark oak fence, which means I need to find some dark oak. So that sounds like a bit of a journey. Let's move that over. And I think, yeah, take the sacrificial dagger off the hotbar. I'll grab my pony. And actually here, let's just go up here. And we'll go off on an adventure out together in search of some dark oak. Aha! Finally. Oh, and there's wolves. Okay. Well, that's not really that unexpected, I guess. There we go. And now I actually have everything here, plus 1,000 PE energy, which I do have on my book. Yeah. So I think it's time to get a sleep, because I don't want this to happen at nighttime. And then I'll meet you guys out at the ritual table. Alright, so there is a specific area that is required for this, and if you look in your Necronomicon, it actually will have little like tutorial images and stuff that you could probably use. Let's see, how many was it away? It was on the 3rd block away. That should work right there. 1, there, and I'm in the overworld, so I should be able to do this with just cobblestone. Now, I could use dark cobblestone if I so desire, but I think that I'll be alright with this. Oops, that's a misplacement. There, and there. Then if I have it correct, I just shift right click. There we go, cool. And if you dig these back up, they just turn back into cobblestone. And you put all the ingredients around there, and when you're ready, you just shift right click the center. So, Demonic Will, Coal Dust, Apprentice Blood Orb. Apprentice Blood Orb? Wait a minute. That's not needed. My bad. Sorry. Monolith Stones. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Blank Teleporter needs to be in the center. Gunpowder. And 1 Dark Oak Fence Gate. Who'd have figured that would have been the tough thing of all this stuff? Alright, so now I just kind of do this. And yes, lightning will probably happen. So fire may ensue. This is actually turns out to be a poorly chosen spot. Oh well, we're gonna do it anyway. Oh boy, and yeah, this is the ritual right here, folks. Oh, it's really interesting stuff. And there we go, our portal to the beneath. All right, I have it. I will place it in the pit of despair. I think that is a very fitting place for it. So once we place it there, I think we'll be good for the episode. All right, so I'm just going to place it right here in the center of the room. I realize it's not really the center, but I'm going to put it right there. And all I need to do is basically just stand on there, and I should pretty much be teleported away. And I would, but I've got a full inventory of all sorts of stuff. So I'm thinking I'm going to get myself prepared. I'm going to get things straightened out and set for the journey ahead. I already made a bunch of torches in this preparation. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode when I go to the Beneath. Don't be afraid to give a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, spread the mischief to others if you think they'll enjoy this content too. Until next time, I'll see ya. Bye.